Hi, Neil here with Covers Camo, your source for custom seat covers. Today we're doing an install on the 2016 Polaris Ranger 900. This is a single front seater on it, and the seat is a 60-40 split bench. So the 60 is a 60 backrest, so kind of a larger backrest and then a larger bottom rest. So then that pulls up right there, and then the driver's side is just a single, the 40 section, so a single seat right there. And then it also is going to have headrest covers to it as well up here. On these smaller cabs, the front seats have headrests. On the the larger cabs where there's two seats, the rear seats have headrests, and then the front seats wouldn't have headrests. The covers that we're putting on today is going to be the flame croc insert. So that's the middle section right there, and the trim is going to be the black ostrich trim. And both the driver and passenger seats are going to have MOLLE pockets. Again, that's a pocket that opens up for storage on the inside, and then there's MOLLE webbing on the outside of it to hook on your gear there. So first step to do in the install is start to lay everything out. Just make sure you got all the right pieces there. And I know that these are the bottom sections here because of the pockets as well, but if you weren't sure, you might just want to lay it out before you really start the install. The other thing I always recommend for all installs is just grab a pair of gloves like this, and this one's not too hard on the hands, but some other truck installs are a little bit harder on the hands. So that'd be the first thing to get started, is start laying out your pieces there. So the first section that we're going to do is the 60 bottom section here. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting this fit around right there. Okay, there's going to be straps that go to buckles. Okay, so that's these straps right here. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them on this set here, and there's going to be a string going around the outside as well. I'm actually going to tie off that string first, and so again, I'm just making sure that that's all fit in there. You could take this whole seat off if you wanted to, but I'm going to leave it on at first just to make sure that I'm getting the straps in the right location. So here's the string here that I'm gonna, now that I got it fit on, I'm gonna tie off this string first. I always like tying off a loop like this right here first. So I'm just gonna make a loop and then go around and just tie a little loop right there. And then with this other side, they come over here, go through that loop, and that gives me the ability to just kind of cinch it up. And I'm gonna use my hands here, just kind of help it pull through. You don't have to yank on this too tight. It's mostly, this string here is mostly for aesthetics, just to kind of keep the corners in. And really what keeps the cover on is these bigger straps. So I'm just gonna pinch that right there, hold that there, and tie that on right there. And I'll actually, when I'm finishing out with this, these extra pieces, I'm just gonna snip those with scissors, okay, to finish that out. Next step is these buckles, these straps to buckles. So each strap comes up to a buckle. You're going through the middle one right there. Then you go through the outside buckle right there like that, okay? And then just pulling that down right there. I won't pull it super tight just yet. I'm gonna get these other straps through first. And so gonna just kind of feed that through right there. Again, this seat pops off super easy. In fact, I'll probably pop it off here at the end to show you how this whole thing comes off. There's really just two little pieces that are holding it on right now. And in fact, I'll just lift it up for you. There we go. So it just kind of pops out right there. Just a little hook right there. So two little hooks on the ends right there. So you may want to do that to get it around. But what you're going to need to make sure to do is, as you're pulling these straps through, that you're not covering up that hook. Like if I was to cover that up, you wouldn't be able to get it around. So you're gonna have to at least push that through right there, so that hook then can go back through this little loop right there and hook back on. So, but now that I got that through, that's gonna make getting these straps through a little bit easier. Okay. That one, I'm gonna go over this string right here. Really probably doesn't matter too much whether you go over or under with these straps, just as long as you get them cinched down. Okay, so now that I have that on, I'm gonna pull those a little bit tighter. Okay, so now really what I'm gonna do with this next step is, I don't need all this extra fabric or all this extra strap. So I'm gonna grab some scissors and trim those off so it's just a little bit cleaner underneath here. So I'm just trimming this off a little bit. Sometimes if these are long, I'll tie a knot, but this one, I'm just gonna trim it a little bit shorter and I won't need to tie a knot. And so then those will just hang like that. That's gonna be fine. This one right here, just gonna trim that string. Make sure you're cutting the right string that you need to. I'm gonna do another double knot in this guy before I trim off the extra piece. So we got that tied up. Here's this extra piece there. So then you can see how much cleaner that looks underneath. Not that you'd ever see that, it's just kind of for the gear that's gonna be underneath the seat. You don't want it to be showing. So, okay, so now, before I hook it back on, I'm gonna make sure that everything is lined up at the top up here. It's looking good. And it does. It looks about to be, you know, everything's in the right spot right there. So now it's just a matter of getting this hook back on here. Okay, so now I got those hooked back in. So it took a little bit to kind of push those in, but they do just hook back in nice right there. So that 60 section bottom is done now, and that should just push right back in. And we got our seat belts all available there, and sweet. So there's that first one done right there. And again, this is the Molly pocket on the passenger side right there. Okay, so now we're gonna put on the 60 section backrest. And first thing that I wanna give you a little tip to do is make sure you pull out this seat belt and put it on the inside of that. Sometimes I've seen customers just kind of start, you just get excited and you're just putting everything on and you don't pull out that seat belt out, and you start, then you have to undo things to get that out. So just pull it around that seat belt right there and just kind of line things up here. Now this 60 section bottom in this one came up really easy, so that was pretty simple just to pull it up and work the straps around. This one's a little bit harder just because it's fixed to the back here. Now you could unhook this, and it's not terrible to unhook it as well, but I'm gonna show you how to do it without unhooking it. Just kind of the simple way there. And because you definitely can do that you can definitely do this install without having to unhook it. But again, it might make your life a little bit easier if you pull that off if you want to. But really what you're gonna do now is there's gonna be, let's see, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straps that need to go down to these buckles. Okay, so just that same method that we did down below, just the straps going to the buckles. You're going to want to get everything fit into place, and then take those straps, put them around those buckles, and then cinch them back up. So we have the 60 section backrest almost complete. We took the straps and dropped them through down to the buckles and then reached underneath. And to really tighten those buckles up, what you want to do is pass the strap back up to the top and then pull that strap up right there to really tighten it. Now, there's 2 straps right here. So if you don't end up removing this 60 section backrest out, because it is a little tricky, there's some bolts on the back and a little bit hard to get to. So if you're just leaving it here in the vehicle, then what you'll want to do is to get those 2 straps, because they're really tight against some plastic right there. It's just super tight. So to get those to pass through, what you'll want to do is just take the fiber stick tool, kind of jam it in between right there. So as you can see, I just got it put in there, and that gives you just enough space to then pass your straps through in between this back piece and then the plastic of the seat right there. And then you pass those through, and then you kind of just use a different angle to pull that up, because you won't be able to pull it straight back up right there. You'll just pull it out to the side, and this other one, kind of you reach in and then pull it off to the side right there, and that then tightens those straps up there. And you can take your fiber stick tool out when you're done there. Now, there's also 2 elastic straps on the sides that kind of keep these corners in tight. And so what you're gonna wanna do is pass these 2 elastic straps in underneath for this particular set. And this set, you're just gonna wanna tie them off to each other. Okay, so what you'll wanna do, get that seatbelt out of the way for you. So you'll take these 2 elastic straps, pass them through, hook them around each other right there, okay? And then just get them tight back there. And again, that's holding up these corners, kind of those bottom corners up, okay? And then now that you got them tight right there, okay, and get it pretty tight. And then I'm just gonna tie a knot in this right here, okay? So I'm gonna do a 1 knot and then just do a little double right there. And then that just kind of drops on the back side right there, okay? And these straps on the backrest, I'm not gonna clip those like I did clip the other ones, just because you don't really see them as much and they're really hard to get to. It'd be really hard to get scissors to back underneath there to trim them. So I'm just gonna kind of hook them up underneath, and they'll be out of the way. But now that's the 60 section backrest, and I'm just gonna kind of smooth it out just by pushing my hands around it, kind of work it over onto the seat a little bit more like that. But boom, that looks good. So now we have the headrest cover here. Really simple, but I'll show you how to get this on. I'm gonna leave these headrests on. There's probably a way you can take these off, but I'm not gonna take them off. So I'm just gonna fit it around like this. Now there is kind of a top section and a bottom section. As you notice, the bottom section on these Polaris headrests is a little bit wider, and then the top gets a little bit more narrow. So make sure you line that up. Also on this particular cover, there's a sewing line down there at the bottom, so that's how you can tell the bottom. Also, driver and passenger sides are the same. Okay, so it should just hook around just a little bit, okay? And if you feel like hooking around a lot on one side, you may need to slide it over. Like I felt it overlapping quite a bit on that other end, so I knew I needed to bring it to this other side right here. So you just kind of work that around. Really simple right there, just, elastic on the sides there that keeps it in like that. And there we go. So there's the headrest cover. Now we have the driver section to do. This driver section, I'll show you this, it just pulls forward like this right here, and you can take this whole seat out. There's, again, just 2 little clips right there. You just pull that out right there. Okay, so if you want to pull it out. But for the install, I really won't need to. I'm just gonna keep it down right there. And first thing I'll do is take the driver bottom cover and fit it into place. This flame croc and black ostrich just looks awesome in this, because I already had some reds, a red exterior. So, and with the black ostrich, just looks really cool. Okay, so now I'm gonna fold this up because I kind of fit it into place already. And then I'm gonna get there's 2 straps that are gonna go to the buckles again. And then here's the string going around, again, just like that 60 section that we just did there. I'm getting my straps ready right there. Very similar. Okay, so again, we'll put this strap in the middle, that outside right there. Okay. And getting that tightened down right there. And also this one right here as well. So we're gonna tighten down those straps, and then tie off that string. You probably wanna do that before you do your straps. I did it a little bit out of order. But this bottom, or this string here that ties up is the one that goes around the sides. Again, it's more for aesthetics, so you don't have to get it too crazy tight, but it just cinches everything up around the bottom right there. Okay, and I tied a loop in one side, and then pinching that off, and then gonna just tie in another knot around here. Just kind of doing a little loop. Do all the same knots on these. So just little loop right there, and then doing a little double around it right there. Okay, so now the string's done there. I will take some scissors and just trim that off, just to kind of keep it clean on the back side here. So I will trim these off just to keep it clean on the back side here, just this extra. If you ever need to re-tighten, you're gonna have enough string with how you tied that up. So the other thing that I wanna make a note of is this needs to lay down pretty flush right here into the seat, because that needs this post needs to bolt in or kind of push into that. So you wanna make sure that you don't tie too big of a knot back here that it's like pushing against the seat and is going to keep your seat up. And so if you do tie a larger knot, try to do it in this section, kind of this middle section right there, because then it can just push up into that. Okay, but I tied a knot right there, and then I'll maybe just throw one around like that and not do it too tight, but that should push in. That should be okay right there. And so I still have that right there. Good. Okay, so now I'm gonna trim off these pieces as well. Again, this is just so it is clean underneath here. It doesn't do anything as far as keeping things tight, but you can clip those. If you wanted to, if you're worried about it ever coming loose, you could throw a knot. I've done that before, is I've just tied these into a knot down there, but that buckle should hold it just fine, and just like that. So now you can take that seat and push it down right there. Just make sure that bolts into place how it should. Okay, there it is, and it just pushed in right there. So there's the driver bottom section. The 40 bottom section is done now. Again, we have that molly pocket over here, looking sweet. So we're gonna put on the driver backrest now. I'm gonna fold that forward a little bit and start pulling this around. I'm gonna bring it all the way forward like that. It's gonna help get it around into place. Make sure these corners get around right there. So on this one, there's gonna be 2 straps to buckles, just like oh no, actually there's 3 straps to buckles. Just kidding again, 4 straps to buckles. Okay, there it is. So you got two of these corner straps right here, and then 2 of these middle straps going around right there. And so let's do these straps, these middle straps first. So these ones coming down right here. And this is a pretty good position just to leave the seat in as you're doing this install right here. So again, I'm going through that middle one right there, and then the outside one. And so we're gonna hook up all these straps just like that, just like I did right there. And we're gonna do that with all 4 of them, and then I'll show you what I'm gonna do with this elastic strap. Now I'm gonna trim these pieces off right here, just to kind of clean that up right there. And again, just keeping things clean back here. And then the last step will be tying off this elastic piece. So I got all 4 of those trimmed. And now this elastic piece right here, again, I'm just gonna tie it to itself. Just hook it around right there. And I'm not gonna yank real hard on this, but just enough to kind of give it enough tension so that those corners pull in. Then I'm gonna throw a knot around that piece right there. Okay, sweet. So there now is the 40 section, or the driver section backrest is done. And so the last step is to just do the headrest cover there. Again, this has been Neil with Covers and Camo, your source for custom seat covers, installing the Polaris Ranger 2016, the 900, and awesome set of seat covers. So if you want to see more videos like this, install videos, I recommend you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, because you're going to see a lot of install videos and also videos just showing you the covers as well there. And if you want to see more covers like this or get them ordered, you can go to coversandcamo.com. Thanks again for watching this video.